What's up, everybody, and today we're doing a new edition of the Tool Duel. I want to know which tool you think wins out of these tools shown in the video. We're looking at power, we're looking at speed, we're looking at price, we're looking at everything, but it's up to you to decide which one wins. Leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what you think. Now with that said, let's take a look at the tools that are competing against each other today in today's Tool Duel. We got a Tool Duel against the Dewalt 745 going up against the Metabo 36v Multivolt bad mofo. We have full reviews dedicated to each one of these saws. I'll put them at the end screen at the end of this video. Now we'll talk later about why I chose to put these two up against each other, but the 745 is basically a staple when it comes to corded table saws. It's just one of those tools that everybody can get behind and say, yep, they did a pretty good job on it. Dewalt makes excellent saws. But the Metabo 36V newcomer that completely changes the game. And even though we have the Dewalt out here, this saw from the Dewalt really represents all of the other saws compared to the Metabo and the technology they put into this. This is why I'm putting those two together. Now, let's talk about the Metabo first. You're looking at 5,000 RPM on this saw. This thing is an industrial beast. It is not just a DIY saw or something you're going to throw in your garage. It's a little bit more expensive. The price you're looking at, $5.99 for just the saw. That's not including the adapter or the battery. Now, everything on here is extremely smooth. Check this out. The bevel, you can turn that knob and it actually bevels for you. It dials that in really nicely. So really happy with that feature right there. And don't worry, we'll get into all the Dewalt specs here in a bit, but it does have the rack and pinion system that allows you to bring that table left or right. I will tell you, it is nowhere near as smooth as the Dewalt, but you also have that plastic piece that you can put on there, and it does a really nice job. You can get close to the material and cut finer strips. Power button and off button right here. Really hard to accidentally turn this thing on. I also like that. You got all of your storage down here on the right hand side. You got your kickback pause, you got your push stick, you got all that. Over here on the left, you do have your tool storage. And on the back here, you got that built-in sort of extender table, which is really cool. It doesn't come out that far, but it does a pretty good job. I like that. There's a back end for you. You can hook your hose right up to it. I'm going to show you a comparison and a close-up view of the extended table. This thing is a monster. I'm telling you, 4 foot from end to end. When it comes down to it, you can take this fence, flip it over like so, and now you can run your plywood or whatever you're trying to do right over top of that, and it's going to keep that nice and level. And somebody was asking me, hey, listen, those rails extend out pretty far. Will it hold the weight? Yeah, absolutely. Those rails are pretty thick, really meaty. I mean, it's monsters. You can also easily adjust, take that fence off, throw it in the back just like so right here. Let me check out the span of that thing. It is freaking huge. And if you wanted to, you can bring it on the left-hand side of the saw blade as well. Now, one of the biggest features of this saw, and I wish others would follow suit, and a lot of people mentioned on the full review of this saw, they wish others would follow suit, is the 36-volt battery that works in here, or you can put the adapter. Check this out. You can go corded or cordless. It does not matter. You throw that battery right here on the left side, or if you wanted to run it plugged in, you can just plug it in and run it. You got the adapter. Check that out. How cool is that? But that said, with the 4H battery, I did not notice anything when it comes to power loss at all. And that was only the 4H battery with the 36 volt. It is just a monster. I mentioned in the review video, probably my favorite table saw to date. I just wish that they would do a little bit of the fine tuning with that rack and pinion system. It's a little bit rough for me. I would have liked to have had it a lot smoother than what it is, but it is what it is. Now let's move it on to the Dewalt, and then later on in the video we'll talk specs, we'll talk about RPM, all that good stuff. But you also have the rack and pinion on the Dewalt, well known on the Dewalt for being excellent and very, very smooth. And even on the Milwaukee table saw, the cordless table saw, also very well done. Again, this Dewalt kind of represents all of the table saws, if you ask me. I think after Dewalt came out with this table saw, everybody else kind of followed suit because they did such a good job on it. But check it out, the rack and pinion system. And you also have the option of running 4x8 plywoods because of that glide right there. On and off button right here, nothing special with it. You got your depth adjustment right here. Everything's manual, don't have that fancy knob like the Metabo has. You got the 45-degree angle bevel just like the Metabo. Just flip that switch and then lift up, find where you want to be, and then just back down again. So everything's really quick on the Dewalt table, and it works really well. I've used this table non-stop. It's basically my go-to table, and you can take that fence and throw it on the left just like you do on the Metabo. Now, the max RPM on this, you're looking at 3,850 Price on it, a lot cheaper, $329 with the stand. That's at the Home Depot. The Metabo is at Acme Tools. I'll put a link in the description below for both of them. But yeah, that rack and pinion system on the saw, it is just awesome, man. Everything is so smooth on this table saw. Now you're only looking at about 45 pounds for this table saw. With the Metabo, you're looking at like 68, 70 pounds. You do have the cord wrap on the side here. No battery option for the Dewalt. You know, I would like to see Dewalt come out with a dual powered table saw. They have one in the miter saw. 3-year limited warranty on the Dewalt. There's a 2-year warranty on the Matabo, not the lifetime guarantee like some people were saying. Now the rip capacity on the Metabo, you're looking at 22 to the left, 35 to the right. On the Dewalt, you're looking at 12-inch to the left and 20 on the right, which is basically standard for all of these compact style saws. Now the max cut depth on the Dewalt, you're looking at 2 1/4 at 45 degrees and 3 1/8 of an inch at 90 degrees. On the Metabo, you are looking at 0 to 45 degrees. You can do 3 1/8 inch of a cut, and then 2 1/4 at 45 degrees. So the rip capacity alone on the Metabo, I mean, check this thing out. I mean, this is not a camera angle. It doesn't make it look any different. It is what it is. I mean, you have that much more capacity on that Metabo than you do on the Dewalt. Does that matter to a lot of people? Well, I'm curious. Leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know if that's important to you. Now let's take a look at some cuts here. Again, we have independent reviews for each one of these saws, but the Dewalt is a little bit louder. It is powerful, man. It is a powerful saw. Even though it has a lot less RPM than the Metabo, it definitely will cut through anything you want it to. I mean, you got the 15 amp motor on this bad boy and it just goes. You got the dust collector in the back, but even the smaller cuts, really, really nice on this table saw. It's just a really well done table saw. It's one of those things where, you know, you don't have to reinvent the wheel, in my opinion, just because it's so well done. But I do wish that they would come out with a dual powered option. And as you can see, we're slicing it into dicing. Subscribe! Sorry, but you know I gotta throw the subscribe in there. Now, for the Dewalt, I will tell you, it is not feeling as smooth, right? I'm talking, there's a little bit more vibration to the saw, right? You can feel it. It's not, I guess it's not as fine-tuned, I would say. It's almost like riding in a pickup truck compared to, you know, maybe an SUV. But let's move it on over to the Metabo right now. And even though that blade is spinning extremely quickly and just cutting so smoothly through that, the adjustments are not as smooth as the Dewalt's. So, which one's more important to you? Leave me a comment in the comment section below and let me know. Now, this is with the plug-in, right, the adapter, and then we're going to do one right now without the battery. And you can see the full review on these saws. I'll put the end cards on. But I really like how you can get up close to that blade, and it is just smooth, man. It is just a smooth cut. It is beastly. It's definitely a bigger saw. I mean, it is. I feel that this surpasses anything you would need around the house. I think if you have a woodworking shop, if you're out on a construction site, this is the saw you want to look at. And even though the Dewalt is great and it's compact and easy to move, I think the Metabo, you know, that plastic around there is just a little thicker. It just feels, you know, you got the aluminum top up here. It just feels like it is meant to be doing heavy workloads. I mean, it is what it is. It almost reminds me sort of like if you could take a saw stop and like wrap it up and then just take it with you wherever you need it to go. I mean, not that industrial, obviously, but, you know, probably the closest that I've ever felt to that point. Now, let's talk about price again. Obviously, this is out of the range of a lot of people. This saw, you're looking at $599 for just the tool only. That's not the battery. That's not the adapter. That's nothing. Where the Dewalt, you're looking at, you know, $329 for that saw with the stand. But again, it all comes down to what you're looking for. You're looking for something that's a little bit more industrial, or you're looking for something that's a little bit more compact and, you know, already has a stand on it. The one thing that the Dewalt has going for it is just everything is very smooth on that saw. I'm telling you, every adjustment, every freaking adjustment is just smooth. That rack and pinion, you just can't beat it. If somehow the Metabo was even maybe 10-15% closer to that Dewalt, I'd say this is the absolute perfect saw. But again, it's not up for me to decide. It is up for you to decide which one wins between these two table saws. Is it the old, true, and reliable Dewalt table saw, or is it the new Metabo? Now remember, think about the price, think about the build quality, think about all the different options that each saw offers. I really don't think you can go wrong with either one of these. I'm telling you, I really love that dual power though. I just think that is awesome. I would say the cat's meow. Leave me a comment in the comment section below. Which one do you think wins? Which one is for you? If you like this video, smash that like button. If you don't like this video, well, tough, but smash that like button anyway. If you don't want to miss any more tool duels, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell notification. Come say hi to us on the Instagram page at Tool Review Zone. Always good to see you guys over there. As always, we'll be back with more tool reviews soon.